Okay, so for our leg warm up, what I like to have my clients and what I start with myself is our pike position in gymnastics and just a little marching side to side. And now I do these freestanding or without any type of anchor. What you can also do if you're really tight is hold on to a rope, a rack, a door frame, and do the same thing just so that you can really push back into those hips. So if you struggle getting your hands to the ground, feel free to use an anchor on any of these. So we're here marching side to side, and then we take this pike position or this straight leg position down into our squat, into our deep bent leg position. And again, if this is tight, you go up onto the toes, use your anchor, whatever you have to do to get into your deep resting squat position. And then we're just gonna flow in and out of that 3 to 5 times. Side to side, you can play around with the head and the neck positioning, and then down into your squat. So that's the first flow. And I like doing these, so even if it is deadlift day, I still like warming up my squat mobility and just getting into the habit of touching that squat position every day of the week. So second position is our straddle stance. Same idea as the pike. Straddle, straight leg, and then we're gonna take this into our side to side squat. So pushing back into the hips. If you are a little tight, use the hands on the floor, come up onto those toes. Just make sure that we're keeping weight in the hips before we load over into the knee. And then once you're nice and loose, you can go flat foot and then no anchor or hand support on the floor. This one does take some time to build up to, so just be kind to your knees, be kind to your ankles, and then back through that straddle. And same thing, I would say 3 to 5 flows each way. Once you're nice and mobile with this one, you can rock onto the floor and go up and down. I also have seen some cool internal rotation things, but we need to make sure when we're doing our internal rotation that we're not collapsing the foot. So it's a nice active foot as you do your internal rotation in that seated posture squat. Okay, again, this side, I'm not collapsing the knee or collapsing the arch in. I'm up on the toe, then I do my internal rotation at my hip. So that's our second position. And then the third one is our sumo or our horse stance. And for this, we want to make sure, again, that we're back into the hips. We're not just collapsing and letting the knees track forward. Back, and then external rotation now. After doing that internal rotation, complete opposite. Driving the knees out. I like to rotate a little here. Sometimes I'll get some adjustments in the back. And again, just touching base with these positions each day in our warm-up. You know, even if we're not going to hit our sumo deadlift, still just getting a feel for what it's like in our horse stance. And then this will strengthen those adductors, the groin, and it just gets you more and more comfortable with being in that sumo and side split position. And then from the front here, knees aren't collapsing in or caving in, driving out, back into those hips. And then you can try to work those legs out as far as they can go without losing that nice active position. And then the last one, the last direction for our legs is this front lunge. So we've done side lunge, we've done squat, we've done pike and our hip hinge. We've also done the sumo and the horse, and then just hitting some type of passive lunge. Same idea, I like to rotate, you can put hand on the ground, really open up that thoracic spine. This is a nice one for the squatting, just to make sure that we're getting our hips all the way through. And then from there, just rocking back, head to toe. And same thing, you move through this 3 to 5 times, and you can play around with being more active. So the more active we are, the more weight we're holding in the legs, the harder this is. So careful jumping into this one. And this is, again, great stretch to hit, open up that hip flexor. You know, even if we're not doing our lunges, still just hitting this lunge position, getting that hip extension, playing around back leg and then front. And now with that one, we do have to do both sides. So technically 5 positions, but 4 main leg flows that I like to hit in the warm-up. You know, it takes 3 to 5 minutes, gets all the pops, gets everything nice and warm before we start throwing weight on the back. And then playing around again with that spine, flexion, extension, little rotation, and toe. The other thing, this isn't necessary, but I do like to do a little jump rope sequence, just again to warm up the feet, the ankles, the knees, and it's just nice to do before squatting and deadlifting. It gets the blood flowing, it gets that pump going, a little sweat, and it doesn't have to be anything too crazy with the jump rope either. So just some 2-legged jumps, some single leg skips, boxer skip, whatever you can do. It doesn't have to be crazy double unders. Just trying to warm up the feet, ankles, knees, everything that we're going to need for our squatting, our deadlifting, our lunge prep. So simple leg warm up, super effective though. And the more often we do this, the more mobile you're going to get in those positions. So not only is it a warm up, but it is a nice little active mobility session to start off your weight training.